second. It's preparing to live stream. And that may be what Ms. Walker's working on as well, but let's see.
Can you try it now?
It's on. It's on. Chandra, do you see that it's on? Hold on, that's me. And it should be on because I just did it.
Oh, so give me 1 second and I'll check and see if the link.
You see it as
Okay.
well. And it says that the meeting is live streamed.
Does it give you a link? Because like I said, the issue is the link on the website is not.
Okay. I don't know. Wait a second. Website. Not active. Okay. I don't know. Wait a second. I think is Miss Walker working on that?
Yes.
Camera? Okay. But I at least know that we are recording at this point. I know we're see that's it. Hold on. But I at least know that that was me. That was me hanging up on myself. So so I know it's being recorded. Now I hear what you're saying, Chandra. We need to get people to be able to click on it, but I at least know it's going to our YouTube channel, and we can hopefully get that straight on the website. Pembro, are you the host, or is it Nichelle, or both?
No, you're the host. I know I'm the co-host.
Okay, okay. Just as long as you can still do what you need to do, correct?
I'm good. Like, this is my screen that's sharing.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Still working on the website link.
Okay.
And move forward without that, right, Miss Gibson?
Right.
Yeah, because if they can't get to it.
So should we do roll call over once that gets established, or are we just good to start from there?
Yeah, do the roll call over, please.
And start the meeting, do all of the
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we ready to do it now?
Nope. They'll let us know. Ms. Walker is working on the link.
Okay, so whatever that week, so we go to the
Is Miss Walker, is she at the school? Do I need to call her?
She's not at the school, but she's handling it now. should she? Ms. Gibson, she's working on it from home still.
Okay.
I just sent her something with the link I used just a few minutes ago to get on, so maybe that will help. I don't know.
That link worked and went straight to the YouTube.
So I don't know, yeah. So I hope. That's just the link where I found Hollis's YouTube, yes.
Ms. Gibson, are you on the website?
Yeah.
So we just put another link in there. Could you try to see if that one is what we are looking for? And I can't check it on my screen because I'm hosting.
No, that just give me. I'll do it. Hold on.
Miss Gibson,
Yes.
could we have record in Zoom and upload it?
No, because
Okay,
the
we
link
can't.
that you are no, because no, no.
Okay.
But I think I fixed it. Just give me a second. Okay, y'all can go ahead.
So it's up?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
No problem.
So we'll go ahead and start over. Thank you all for being patient, those who were already on, and we'll go ahead and get started. So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Hollis Innovation Academy Go Team meeting, where we will follow the agenda as it has been publicly noticed. I would like to remind everyone that this is a meeting of the Go Team. Only members of the team may participate in the discussion. Any members of the public present are here to quietly observe. For members of the Go Team, please identify yourself whenever you speak. I am pleased to call this meeting of the Hollis Innovation Academy Go Team to order at 5:20 p.m. Our first order of business is to call roll. The secretary will now take the roll.
Good afternoon. Barbara Shea,
Present?
Carla Moore,
Present.
Billy Walker,
Present.
Monica Taylor,
Here.
Chelsea Baker,
Here.
Javier Torres,
Here.
Aisha Fambro,
Present.
Marielle Hicks. Okay. Cherry Belil
Present.
and Letitia Green. That is me here.
This team will only be able to take the official action if a quorum is present. Ms. Green, is there a quorum present?
There is a quorum present.
Thank you. So we will move forward. Our first order of business is to approve the agenda. This has been provided on our website, and I'm also about to show it on the screen. And I'll give you time to view it. 1 second, I have to follow these things out of the way. Hopefully. Okay, you can see it. May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda for last month's meeting, September.
No, this is this, so we're doing the minutes next, but this is today.
Okay.
Hmm?
Motion to approve the agenda for today's meeting.
A second?
This is Carla Moore. I second it.
All in favor, please say aye, so the secretary can record your vote. All opposed?
Aye.
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 All right. Go back. We will review and approve the meeting minutes from our last meeting, I'm sorry. The minutes have been provided on our website, and I'll also display them here. Give you time to read them. There was a summary. Scroll down to the minutes. Down for the main, this is the meat of everything here. Are there any corrections? If there are no further corrections, you said no?
Like, it's good.
All right. May I have a motion to approve the previous meeting?
Huh?
minute?
I'm gonna get the call.
Okay. May I have a motion to approve the previous meeting's minutes?
Motion to approve.
A second?
Second, Sherry.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions, please say abstain. All right, thank you. I'll go back to our presentation. All right, and now we have reached the time for our public comment section of our Go Team meeting for today, which we have been allotted 20 minutes. Comments must be no more than 2 minutes long, and a timer will be used to manage the time. And again, it would have been held on the first 20 minutes, which we will be doing now, but we also have to follow the protocol of signing up. So we will open our public comment as it is displayed from the sign up form. So give me 1 second to pull that up. And from looking at our response form, we only had 1 response. So it says Mamie, aka Mother Moore. Are you present on the meeting?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am. Your time starts now.
yes. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for this opportunity to be able to speak to you all. I come tonight as the vice president of the PTA and as a resident of English Avenue and an advocate and active participant in the redevelopment of English Avenue. And my comments tonight are geared around my passion for what we're doing to rebuild a healthy, sustainable community, which includes a healthy, sustainable school. So I have a dual purpose in addition to wanting to see Hollis thrive and grow, because I have 2 great grandchildren in Hollis Academy. So my passion, my objective, my work is to keep Hollis open as a pre-K through 8 school. I want to see us move to get maximum and beyond enrollment. I want to be able to let you all know that whatever you need from me to support the Go team being able to work and function and be empowered to do your job, I'm there to support that. And finally, to just ask if you all would, if not tonight, if in the future, place on your agenda the question of this year's Go Team and where we are going to stand in terms of keeping Hollis as a pre-K through 8 school. Thank you.
Thank you. And that is our only public comment that was submitted on the form. Therefore, again, thank you, Mother Moore, for sharing, and your concerns will be addressed. And I keep switching screens, so give me 1 second. So where we are, our strategic plan is the guide for the work we're doing at the school. By monitoring the plan and ranking priorities, we can all work toward the common goals. Using the priorities in the strategic plan, the school leadership team developed a continuous improvement plan, SIP, for the current school year. We are here between the September to the December 2024 timeline, which is step 4. So we'll be utilizing our current data. The Go Team will review and possibly update the school's strategic priorities and plan. Here are our discussion items on the screen, and we will now move to the discussion items on our agenda. Starting with the current strategic plan, presented by Barbara Shea.
I'm sorry, I was muted. I'm going to go over the current strategic plan. The strategic plan is different from the continuous improvement plan in that it is a 5-year plan, and believe we're at coming to the end of the 5 years. So I'm going to just review it. I will say that I struggled to find the strategic plan, and so in doing that, there were some things we found we're going to have to make some adjustments just based on what we've already done this year. So I'm going to read you as it's written. We're going to decrease 10% in beginning learners, grades 3 through 8, special ed students, and 3 through 8 special ed DSE, which would be the Department of Special Ed, on GMAS, which of course is milestones, and 5% increase in proficient and above on the Georgia milestones. 50% of the students will reach their MAP growth target in reading, and the remaining 50% of the students will demonstrate progress towards their MAP target. We've already done MAP once. We are getting ready to do it again, and we will have some really good, hopefully our data will start to look exactly as we think it's going to look, and students will actually be moving up. 10% decrease in beginning learners of grades 3 through 8 students on the GMAS, 5% proficient and above on the GMAS. 50% of our students will reach their MAP growth target. Remaining 50% will demonstrate progress towards their goal. And then decrease the number of students chronically absent and develop and implement a comprehensive attendance policy and protocol that we implement with fidelity. That's kind of those are our big goals: reading, numeracy, and attendance. Attendance is killing us. So we talked about that a little bit at the PTA meeting last week, and it is a huge part of whether we are successful or not successful with some of our students. So when we look at the strategic priorities or the initiatives of the district, we're going to foster academic excellence for all. We're going to do that by focusing on reading and math performance of special ed students, focusing on reading and math students, performance of all Hollis students, and develop a literacy and mathematics culture in the school. We're going to engage to do this, to the strategies we'll use, we'll engage our special ed teachers in regular professional development with the general ed staff. And we will intentionally track and monitor special ed and non-special ed students at the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, and the end of the year with our MAP data. So we stay on it. As an aside, we have a work day on Monday. All the kids are out, but we have a work day. And one of the items on our work day is the co-teaching model, which is the special ed teacher and the general ed teacher working together in a classroom. And we will have a training on that on Monday so that we can help those teachers find ways to work in conjunction with each other and support each other to benefit the students. We're going to build a culture of student support using whole child intervention, personalized learning. We're going to leverage our whole child intervention crew, which I think last year was called the CARE team or the CARE crew. We're going to look at wraparound services and increase attendance and access to more mental health support in terms of wraparound services offered outside the building. Implement a system of support through counselors, behavior specialists, social workers, our MTSS people, our disproportionality specialists, and outside agencies to help us meet the goals of the attendance and wraparound services for mental health. We're going to equipping and empowering our leaders and staff. We want to improve leadership opportunities for our staff and retain our top performing staff. So we're going to provide ongoing recognition and rewards for teachers of excellence. And we're going to start an Educator of the Month recognition. A lot of that will have also to do with staff attendance because, if you're the Educator of the Month, you're here. So as much as we have trouble with the kids, we also have some trouble with the grown-ups. We're going to create a system of school support. We're going to provide multiple engagement opportunities for families. We're going to leverage school-based partnerships to support families. We're going to encourage our partners to participate in school-based activities and recognize them by having coffees, breakfasts, things to bring our partners in so they see all the things that we're doing. And that we will have our first partner breakfast. Well, I think it's more of a coffee and a honey bun at the end of October. I think on Halloween, actually, now that I say that. So that's kind of where we are. This is somewhat fluid. We will still continue to look at these and add to, and hopefully meet our goals as we go. Ms. Fambro?
I'm here. So
Okay.
now we will move on to our data. If you all recall from the last meeting, we were not able to display the math data because it was under embargo, but now we have the math data and we will share it. However, we want to make sure that as a Go team, we just understand the data protocol. So you want to think about these questions that are on the screen and I'll read them as well. So think about, what do you notice? What are your wonderings? Based on our school's trend data from MAP assessment and end of year test assessment, which student subgroups and grade levels showed the most significant gaps or unexpected trends? Based on our school's trends data from MAP assessment, milestones, and other indicators, are there specific trends that require more focused attention? And I'm sorry, I can't see that last one. What additional questions you have? So these are just some things to think about, but feel free to ask anything that you are thinking. So I will display here. These are the results from last spring. I repeat, these that you see on the screen are the student results from grades 3 through 5 in the content of math from last spring, which means they took this test in April. I'll give you all about a minute to just review the data, and then I'll kind of point out some highlights. And then I'll also show the comparison from the previous year. So right now, I'll give you time to view the data. As a whole, it looks like 51% of our students are, as far as math is concerned, developing and above. When you look at the top column, that's everybody placed as a whole and consolidated. But then when you go to 3 through 8, there are different, of course, percentages. So I'll show you the comparisons next. And let me know if I'm moving too fast. Anybody still looking at this screen? All right. So here's the comparison. 2023 for each grade level is at the top. And then 2024, which is the most recent one from last spring, will be at the bottom. And so you can compare each grade level. Third grade had 79% beginning, went down to 57% beginning. The standards did change on the math assessment. And our students still showed gains. So we are comparing school year 2023 to 2024. And feel free to pop on with any questions that you have at any moment. And also, for anyone who's wondering, the 5th graders in 2023 are our 6th graders in 2024. So not only do we want you to think about grade level to grade level changes, but also think about those students. So these 3rd graders in 2023 were the 4th graders in 2024. So technically these same kids at 79% were at 48% beginning in 2024. So not only do we want you to look at the trends that our school is going in as a whole, but also follow those cohorts. For example, those 7th graders in 2023 were at 41% beginning, but when they were in 8th grade last year, they were at 21% beginning, which means 80% of our 8th graders were developing and above on the math milestone. So those were just some things to highlight and point out as you review the data. So we're trending positively as far as cohorts and positively for the most part as far as grades compared to themselves. And I see something in the chat. I'm proud that we are moving in the right direction. Yes, ma'am, Ms. Baker. Shout out to 8th grade. That definitely stands out. I know we have a parent on here. You had any thoughts, Ms. Taylor?
I got a few thoughts, but I'm excited that it's moving in the right direction.
Gotcha. And y'all feel free now. If there's no questions, we'll move on. I just wanted to open the floor.
It looks like we trend with the middle school. It looks like it's a trend. When Hollis was using the EL model, I can see some consistency with how kids are comprehending or are able to test. Because I think this 8th grade, some of them was there for EL for 5th grade. So they got some of the foundation of basically having a program in place for a good amount of time shows results.
Yeah, I understand.
Our kids are stable, are in testing, and I think some of it have to do with EL, the EL model that we had.
I appreciate
They're forcing our kids to read and think for themselves.
Yeah, I believe, Ms. Blau, those 8th graders, when they were in 5th grade, I know their 6th grade was a virtual year. And I believe 5th grade was partially virtual as well. But I think they were present and here long enough during that EL time. So thank you for sharing that. Do we have any other thoughts, wonderings, questions, anything to clap for? Thank you, Ms. Baker, for that. And again, you don't have to. I just want to make sure that we give enough time for people to share their thoughts because this is the data. These are our students right on that screen. All right. We will move forward with our continuous improvement plan. And here's our needs assessment that will be presented by the fabulous Ms. Barbara Shea. You are on mute.
I know, I was saying that. I'm muted, sorry. This is our continuous improvement plan. This is part of the notebook. In all honesty, this is not the most current one. And so we are in the process of looking at some of these things and making some changes. But we just had some things written in here that we did not agree with now. But you know, before you figure out what's going on, you do a needs assessment in your building. And so some of the things that came out of these things was there was an inconsistent use of high-level instructional practices and or strategies, inconsistent use of data protocols to create small group instruction, lack of engagement. This one was teachers did not have access to the instructional coaches to support the internalization of the curricular resources. Now this goes back, this is not the most current because I just got the most current. And to be honest with everyone, when I was here, and I was only here, I thought very temporary, for 3 months of getting school started, I did not work on these things because I wanted the new principal to have voice in this. And now that I am staying, we are hitting the ground running with this. But we also, as you well know, are under the some state guidelines, and we have continuous improvement plans from the state. And that's really the one that we follow now. It's not on here because we used the one that we were supposed to use, but we're going to kind of fix this so that it talks about the fact that we are all about literacy, numeracy, and attendance. Those are our overarching needs and goals for this year. So this will change. It's a fluid document, so it can change. And because I think, you know, as much as we're growing, and that is fabulous that we are going in the right direction, we have a lot of work to do. And although I can't speak to what happened last year, I was here last year for a very short period of time. I know that our focus and the teachers' focus is on literacy, numeracy, and attendance. That does not mean we don't teach science and we don't teach social studies, because of course we do. But we certainly are looking at how to use the curriculum so that we can cover as much as we can by having content that we can intermingle with other contents. So if you could go to the next page, Ms. Fambro. Okay, so by the spring of 2024, the percentage of learners, so this is also from last year. So I'm going to go to the middle. By the spring of 2025, the percentage of learners in grades 3 through 5 scoring in the proficient and above performance band will increase by 5% as measured by the math milestones. By the spring of 2025, the percentage of learners scoring in the beginning performance band will decrease by 5%. Spring of 2025, the percentage of learners scoring in the proficient and above will increase by 5%. I'm pretty sure the goals that we've come up with are higher than that. I want to say it's 5 and 10%. Because we are working very hard. Our classes are small. And as I've said to the teachers, there's no reason why we can't grow by leaps and bounds this year. By spring of 2025, the percentage of learners who attend school at least 90% of the time will increase by 20%. That's really what dinged us really bad last year with our CCRPI. We had an attendance rating, I want to say, and please correct me if I'm wrong, for those of you that know, was it like 49 point something %. And that is huge. And so between children not coming to school and children coming to school late, we get dinged a lot because we are fighting a battle that we are trying very hard to win, but it's difficult. It's very difficult. It's once they're here, we got them, but if we can't get them here, we have an issue. Some of the things we're using is the Georgia DOE instructional informal walkthrough tool, which means we go around. There's several of us that go around and we observe and take note and some data of what's going on in our classrooms. And then we work with our coaches to help our teachers do things in a different way when we see areas that need help. We are still, of course, using MAP, which is a screener, and we use it 3 times a year. And now this year the system adopted a program called Flyleaf, Morpheme Magic, and Heggerty. And really the focus of those is phonics and reading. Like for those of you that are in my age group, and there's probably very few of you, it's kind of how we always learn to read. It's reading groups, it's teaching phonics, it's moving from one group to another. It's pretty cool, but that's what the system has brought us this year. And we are up and running in a big way in our classrooms with that. We also still, of course, use unit assessments. We will also, for math, we will use the Georgia DOE informal walkthrough tool. We of course, use the MAP screener. Amplify was the math instructional model and the reading instructional model for the last several years. We are not using that this year, but it is still a resource for teachers this year. If they choose to use bits and pieces of that, they are still welcome to do that, I think, through this year.
And ELA uses that as well.
Yes, and ELA has used it for about a year longer than math. I mean, because ELA came out first, but they are moving away from that. And we are encouraged to go to the Georgia DOE curriculum that they've created, and which is filled with great stuff. It's filled with activities, it's filled with lesson plans, and our teachers are getting used to using that this year. It's free, which is also very nice. We are also, for attendance, using our attendance dashboard, our incident dashboard, and of course, our whole child intervention team is all about attendance. That is that's their primary focus. Okay. I am not going to go through all this unless you want me to, but it will be on our website. It will be on the Go team, and it will be there for you to look at. But it's the ways we're going to increase proficiency, decrease where we are as beginners, and it's 10% decrease in beginners, 5% increase in proficient and above. And these are the action steps that we're going to take to get there. Most of it I've just talked about on the other page. So if you want me to read it, I will, but if you're okay with me moving on, just let me know. Miss Belilla, do you have your hand raised? Do you have a question?
Yes, Dr. Shea. I mean, Mrs. Shea, I always call you a doctor. There I go doing it again.
Thank you. It's okay.
I wanted to know with the scorecard for attendance, did it weigh heavy in middle school coming in late? Do you know
yes.
data?
It weighs heavy everywhere. Yes.
Okay. Majority of it weighed. Yeah,
Oh,
because
yes.
in California a couple of years ago, I think in the 2022, they passed a law where middle schoolers are deprived of sleep, and they give them an opportunity to come in between at least by 8 or so.
Oh, interesting.
8:30. But I know we have a budget issue, but that's something that we could look at for our middle schoolers. That was part of the innovation for when we had those discussions. That was one of the things that we brought up for innovation, giving middle school the opportunity to have the middle school feel while we still have up in a K-8 model.
I got you.
That's just my feedback on that.
Okay. No, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Am I okay? I'm going to move on. Is there another page? Yes. This is another page of action steps. And again, we're going to monitor the implementation of grade level standards in our special ed classes, because that is an area that we have struggled with. And so they are on our list of priorities this year, as they have been, and making sure that we include them in the things that they need to be included in fairly, and focusing on our co-taught classes and making sure our teachers, special ed and general ed, work collaboratively together. And that's kind of where we are right there. Any questions about this? I'm going to keep on going. This is decreasing beginning level and increasing proficient. This focus is for using the framework, which we do use to teach, making sure we have professional development in the implementation of math. We are a STEM school, and we have a STEM person this year, and they are working with our Beyond the Core teachers. He is working with our Beyond the Core teachers to implement STEAM concepts in the connection classes. So that's kind of how we're starting. That's usually how we do start our signature program. We usually start in our connection classes. Okay, any other questions? Ms. Belil, did you have another question? I think okay.
Oh,
there we
no, I should lower my
I
hand.
got you. No, I got it. Okay, all right. Let's we can move on. These are the action steps required for our subgroup populations. We have, of course, a subgroup. Well, we don't have a white subgroup, but we almost have an EL subgroup this year. We are getting children English as a second language. We got 2 more today, so we are seeing an influx in that area, and so we will be looking at that. We'll be looking at the subgroup of special ed, and we will be looking at all of our students, because they also are part of a subgroup of economically disadvantaged, and I think that's it. So we're going to really focus on that. Our big focus is on DSE, and as the year progresses, our focus also becomes English as a second language. And we've gotten several new students who speak no English. So that is another challenge for us, but we have a full-time English as a second language teacher, and so we don't expect to have big problems in that area. We want 100% of our students with disability to meet their MAP growth target from fall to spring. We want them to do that in both areas of reading and math. I'm ready. This is our whole child intervention. We're going to develop and implement a comprehensive attendance policy and protocol with Fidelity. We are working very hard. We had a faculty meeting yesterday where this came up, because we all play a role in helping kids come to school. And the first part of that role starts with teachers. And when teachers notice a child's been absent, they're to call. And if that absence continues, we move it to the counselor. We move it then to the social worker. And I guess in some ways, we hope to just make enough of a nuisance of ourselves that our students will come to school, because the majority of our students are very young, don't get themselves to school on their own, and we're hoping that they will help their parents understand how important it is to be here every day. We're going to do some things like never been absent. We're going to have attendance incentives and celebrations at the end of the month. And as Ms. Belil said, money is very, very tight here. This is not the meeting to have that discussion. So we're looking for things to do, rewards to give that are, while they're external, we're going to do some things that are free in the building to celebrate our kids who are here every day. So we're going to just keep looking. And of course, we're looking in terms of discipline, which I will say has not been a huge issue for us so far this year. Knock on wood, everybody knock on wood. We've had very few behavioral issues that have risen to me getting involved. And most of it is handled in-house and in class. So that is very encouraging, because we're keeping babies in class, and that's exactly what we want to do. We're going to incorporate with Fidelity the DSE attendance policy, the special ed attendance policy, but that policy is pretty much the same policy that we have for all students. We need people to come to school. Anything else on this, Ms. Fambro? Is there another page? Okay, so this is the discussion page. So do you want to take this, Ms. Fambro, or do you want me to keep going?
So you can keep going. It's mostly just, as you know, there isn't anything
Right.
that's missing
Anything that
should-
struck you, any wonderings, anything you see as a team that we need to dig into further? Let me know. Now is a good time. If not, you can always reach out and let us know as you think about it. We appreciate the feedback. So if anybody has anything, please feel free to speak.
Well, this is Billy Walker, a parent of a current sixth grader, and I just would like to give flowers and honors to the teachers that was there from last year that supported special education and emerging students, because my daughter was one of the children that ended up doing better by the end of that school year. So that care team, those special education pairs and support people, and just a host of individuals that help them get on the bus and better to communicate and help them to continue to learn, to thrive, and to be individuals, because often it can be very hard for special educated students to kind of get their fit into the puzzle of their educational career at Hollis. But I think the special education department especially, and all the teachers that bridge with them, do an outstanding job.
Thank you so much. It's always so wonderful to hear that. I'm not saying that special ed is my first love, but special ed is my first love. I was a special ed teacher for 16 years, so I totally appreciate what you just said. Thank you so much.
Yes, I appreciated hearing that as well. So thank you. And any other additions to the strategic plan, or can we move forward with where we are with the optional school uniform? All righty. So these slides are just talking about everything that we discussed in the last meeting, so I won't go through all of them. But in short, if the school year wishes to maintain or explore implementing it, we have to go through the engagement process and vote, which we did, and it'll be implemented in the 2025-2026 school year. Here is the Atlanta Board of Education policy. I think that's a J. I can't see because my screen. JCDB, student dress code. Here are the requirements, and those are the restrictions on the screen. And again, this was addressed last meeting, so I'm going to keep forward. Here are some examples of problematic school-specific dress code provisions. So teachers cannot say no joggers, no active wear, no sweatpants, no Crocs, and a bunch of things that are on the screen. Again, this was discussed in the last meeting, so I'll move forward. And effective immediately, once this happens, at no time students should have their instructional time interrupted or be barred from school or class for declining to wear the optional school uniform. And again, this was discussed prior to this meeting. So we had to name the committee chair, which is Miss Chelsea Baker, and then no more than 2 additional Go Team members may be on the committee. With a max of 3, we must have at least 3 students, and I will move forward with allowing Miss Baker to present, and it's also linked here. So when you're ready, it will be ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. 1 second.
Okay. Okay, good afternoon, Hollis family. This is Miss Baker. I've been kind of moving around the school and talking to my kids. I'm sorry, I'm the K4 art teacher, so I see everybody upstairs, also some of the middle school students. But I've been kind of moving around the building, talking to my kids about how they feel about uniforms. Some of them are very on board. Some of them are very not on board. So I feel like it's my goal as one of their instructors is just to kind of, lean them in the right direction and let them see that this is a good thing and it is a positive thing. So with that being said, you can go to the next slide. I came up with the idea of having brand ambassadors, Hollis uniform brand ambassadors. I've spoken to a few kids that homeroom teachers recommended, and they're on board. So I sent home a permission slip this week, and hopefully I didn't put their names in the slide just yet because I want to make sure parents at home understand that their name will be publicized and that they'll kind of be my brand ambassadors. If you're familiar with social media, you know that certain brands there's a face attached to that brand. So these kids will be our brand ambassadors, our uniform brand ambassadors. So I have about 5 K-5 students. And then I do have 3 middle school. Y'all know middle school was hard, like pulling teeth, but I have a few that were like, oh yeah, I'll do that. So I got 1 8th grader, 1 7th grader, 1 6th grader, about 3 4th graders, 2 1st graders, a 2nd grader, and I may have a couple more for elementary. I just put 6 here, but it probably will be more. But as soon as I get permission from parents, I will share those names with you all, their names and who they are. You can go to the next slide. So this is kind of the rollout that we came up with. Just as a brief timeline. I don't really have any hard dates on it because I do want to talk to my administration team to make sure these things are okay. But just for the month of November, I want to do uniform shout outs over the intercom. I know Mr. Matthews kind of does that already, but I wanted to kind of pump it up and make it a big deal. So, just on Mondays, we put on a little music. If you have on your uniform, stand up and you have like a little 30-second breakdown, walk to the front of the classroom, do your little boogie, do your little dance, and have a seat just to pump it up because this is all about advertising with kids. The next one, I want to do posters of our brand ambassadors around the school. Miss Green, our art teacher in middle school, they have, and Mr. Clark, they have a lot of equipment down in the STEM lab, cameras and all types of things. So this could be a project for our 8th graders to kind of work with media and do just like a little fashion shoot with our brand ambassadors. And we could put those posters kind of around the school for December, and we can kind of call it Dress for Success. And they were cool. They were excited about that. They said, "Oh, one of them said, you're going to put me on stage, Miss Baker?" I said, "No, not on stage. Not quite yet. But we will make some pictures of you guys and kind of, put them on." We have these beautiful monitors on our walls. And my hope is that I can work with Kiva and see if we can get those pictures digitized and they can be rolling on our monitors in our hallways. So it's really like a nice thing to be a brand ambassador. The month of January, I want to do like a little uniform runway show in the pod, and they could just come out for a quick meeting in the morning. If you have on your uniform, we're going to walk it down, put on some little music. I could get my brand ambassadors to kind of travel with me and they can kind of lead the way with that. And then our big goal is for our kids to vote yes in February for the survey that middle school has to complete. So these are just like little drops in the bucket all the way up until February towards the end of the school year. And hopefully they will vote yes for our optional uniform policy. Thank you.
I was on But thank you, Ms. Baker. That was great. And also she has here that Miss Monica Taylor is a part of that crew as well. And thank you. So we will move forward. Any questions anyone has for Ms. Baker before we move on? All right. And here's a quote about strategic planning. It will help us fully uncover our available options, set priorities for them, and define the methods to achieve them. So at our next meeting, we will discuss how our data is aligning to our strategic plan and determine if we need to make any adjustments. Before the end of fall semester, we will take action, which means to vote, on any updates to our strategic plan and the ranking of our strategic priorities for the 2024-2025 school year. You can let myself know of any additional information as well as the co-chair if you need any additional information or anything you need for our future discussion. And now we will have the principal's report, starting with the security grant update.
Okay, so the Atlanta Public Schools has given us $45,000 for security updates. Now, we cannot see that in our budget yet. It should be there. It's not there. So I have a call in to find out where it is, but every school got it, so I know we will. And we have $45,000, and part of the money that the $45 will cover is cameras, additional cameras in our building. We have places in our building that are like blind spots, and in our pods, we don't have cameras. We will not, of course, be putting cameras in classrooms, but we will be putting them in the pods, out in the common area of the pods, and that's gonna cost us, I wanna say approximately $15,000. So that's where we're beginning with our security updates, because it all has to do with things that will provide more protection in the building for our students and staff. So that's the security grant. I have not seen it on the line in our budget yet, but we have been told it's being uploaded to our budget. Any questions about that? Okay. Okay, the cluster advisory team report. Our cluster representative, I want to say, is, oh my gosh, Miss, yes.
That would be me,
Okay.
Miss Moore. I
Hey,
actually
Miss
don't have
Moore.
an update because I've been traveling for the last 3 weeks. So this like half of last week is the first week I've actually been in Georgia.
Okay, so that's fine. I mean, we'll catch you the next time they have a cluster advisory team.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, and as far as announcements, does anyone have any announcements? All right, we have reached the end of our agenda. Is there any additional business at this time? May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
This is
Motion to
Carla
adjourn.
Moore. I second that motion. Carla Moore.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Canberra.
Good night. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
You can end it now.
I'm doing it right now.